person destroying our business was sitting at my dinner table every night. That was the part I could not accept. Not at first. Not when the contracts started disappearing. Not when our biggest clients suddenly switched to our rival. Not even when my brother slapped a folder onto my kitchen table and said, "Mara, this is coming from inside your house." I laughed because the alternative was impossible. Inside my house meant family. Inside my house meant someone I loved. And there was only one person at that table every night who knew enough to ruin me. My daughter, Sophie. The trouble started 3 months after my father went into the nursing home. I say went, but that makes it sound gentle. It was not gentle. Grandpa Arthur had lived with me for 6 years after my mother died. He helped me run the family business, Callaway Custom Cabinets, until his hands got too shaky to hold a pencil. Even after that, he still sat in the office every morning, drinking coffee and telling customers, "My daughter runs the place now, but I taught her everything she knows." He was proud of me. And I needed that pride more than I admitted. Then my Aunt Vivian decided she knew better than everyone. She moved him into a nursing home while I was at a supplier meeting. No call. No warning. No chance to say goodbye to the house he had built with his own hands. When I came home, his recliner was empty. His coffee mug was still in the sink. Vivian stood in my living room, holding a clipboard like she was doing me a favor. "He was becoming a burden," she said. I remember staring at her, waiting for her to take it back. She did not. "He is not a burden," I said. "He needed professional care. You should have told me." Vivian's face hardened. "You would have made it emotional." That was Vivian, cold voice, polished nails, always certain she was the only adult in the room. My daughter Sophie stood behind her, arms crossed, not looking at me. That should have bothered me more. At the time, I thought Sophie was just overwhelmed. She was 26, living with me again after a bad breakup, trying to figure out her life. She worked part-time at the business doing invoices and social media. I thought giving her responsibility would help her rebuild her confidence. I did not know I had handed her the keys to our destruction. 2 weeks after Grandpa was moved, we lost the Lennox account. Lennox Homes had been with us for 9 years. They did luxury kitchen renovations, and our cabinets were their signature feature. Their owner, Grant Lennox, called me personally. "Mara, I'm sorry," he said. "We've decided to go with Ridgeline Interiors." I gripped the office phone. "Ridgeline, they don't do custom millwork." "They do now." Something in his voice made my stomach tighten. "What did they offer you?" He hesitated. "A very competitive package." "How competitive?" "Myra." "Grant." He sighed. "They came in 12% under your bid. Same timeline, same materials." That was impossible. Our bid had not been public. Only 3 people had seen it. My brother Nate, who handled operations, and Sophie, who uploaded the final proposal. When I told Nate, he went quiet. "Maybe Grant showed it around," I said. "He wouldn't," Nate said. "Then maybe Ridgeline guessed." "Mara, they guessed the exact materials, labor window, and pricing." I snapped, "What are you saying?" He looked toward Sophie's desk through the office window. I followed his gaze and felt anger rise in my chest before he even spoke. "No," I said. "I didn't say anything." "You didn't have to." Sophie was sitting with her headphones in, tapping on her laptop, a half-empty iced coffee beside her. She looked young. She looked harmless. She looked like my daughter. So I ignored the first warning. Then we lost Patel Developments. Then Hollow Creek Condos. Then the church restoration project my father had wanted more than anything. Each time, Ridgeline knew exactly what to offer. Not close. Exact. One Friday evening, I found Nate alone in the workshop after everyone else had gone home. He was standing beside Grandpa's old workbench, holding a stack of printed emails. "What is that?" I asked. "Proof we have a leak." My heart began pounding. "Do not say Sophie." He turned around slowly. "I don't know who it is yet." But his face told me he did. He spread the papers across the bench. Bids, supplier quotes, internal schedules, Client notes. Every document Ridgeline had somehow matched. They had this information within 24 hours of us creating it, Nate said. I picked up the Lennox proposal and saw my own initials at the bottom. My hands started to shake. Who accessed these? That's what I checked, Nate swallowed. Your login, my login, Sophie's login. That does not prove anything. No, but this might. He pulled out one more page. It was a screenshot from our cloud system. Sophie had downloaded the Lennox proposal at 11:42 p.m. from home, the night before Ridgeline made their offer. I stepped back like the paper had burned me. She was probably fixing something. Did she tell you that? No. Then ask her. I did not ask her that night. I made dinner instead. Chicken, rice, green beans. The kind of dinner I had made when she was little and afraid of thunderstorms. Sophie came downstairs in sweatpants, hair tied back, phone in her hand. Smells good, she said. I watched her sit across from me. I watched her sprinkle salt on her plate. I watched her smile at a text message. And I wondered when my own daughter had become someone I was afraid to question. Halfway through dinner, I said, were you working late on the Lennox proposal last month? Her fork paused. Just a second. But I saw it. I don't remember, she said. You downloaded it at almost midnight. She looked at me then, not confused, not surprised. Annoyed. Are you spying on me? I am trying to understand why Ridgeline keeps getting our bids. Her face flushed, so you think it's me. I am asking. No, Mom, you're accusing. Sophie. I cannot believe this, she shoved her chair back. Aunt Vivian was right, you always need someone to blame. The name hit me harder than the accusation. Vivian has been talking to you about this. Sophie looked away. That was answer enough. What has she been saying? Nothing. What has she been saying? Sophie's voice turned sharp. That you're running the business into the ground because you refuse to change. That grandpa gave you everything and you still act like a victim. I stood up so fast my chair scraped the floor. Your grandfather gave me responsibility, not everything. He gave you the business. He built it with my mother. I worked there since I was 16. And what do I get? She snapped. The room went silent. I stared at her. What? Her eyes shone with tears, but they were angry tears. You got the company, Uncle Nate got a job, Grandpa gets everyone crying over him, and I get treated like the screw-up who came home. My anger slipped, just for a moment. Oh, Soph. No, she wiped her face. Do not do that, do not use that voice. What voice? The poor Sophie voice. Then she grabbed her phone and walked out. I heard her bedroom door slam. The next morning, she was gone before breakfast. So was her laptop. At the office, Nate was waiting with something worse. Ridgeline just announced a new senior design consultant, he said. I knew before he turned the screen. Vivian. My aunt. Smiling in a navy blazer, beside Ridgeline's owner. The caption read, bringing family craftsmanship into the future. Family craftsmanship. My family. My father's name. My mother's designs. My work. I sat down slowly. Nate said, Mara, this is bigger than Sophie. The twist landed in pieces. Vivian had moved Grandpa out. Vivian had been talking to Sophie. Vivian had joined our biggest competitor. And somehow, our private bids were ending up in Ridgeline's hands. I drove to the nursing home that afternoon. Grandpa was sitting near the window in a cardigan I had never seen before, staring at a bird feeder outside. When he saw me, his face changed. There's my girl, he said. I tried not to cry. I failed. I'm sorry, I whispered. I should have stopped her. He squeezed my hand. Vivian always was good at moving people before they knew they were being moved. That sentence chilled me. Grandpa, what do you mean? He looked toward the hallway, then lowered his voice. She wanted me to sign papers. What papers? Business papers, said it would protect you. My chest tightened. Did you sign them? His eyes filled with shame. I don't know. I felt the floor shift beneath me. What do you mean, you don't know? She brought a man, said he was from the bank. I was tired, my medicine had been changed. His voice cracked. I remember signing something, Mara, I just don't remember what. I drove straight to our attorney. By Monday morning, I had copies. Vivian had not just moved Grandpa into care. She had used his confusion to get him to sign a transfer of intellectual property rights connected to old Callaway design patterns. Cabinet face profiles. Signature joinery. Custom templates. Designs my mother had drawn by hand 40 years earlier. That was why Ridgeline could promise same materials. That was why they could copy our work. But there was still one missing piece. They had designs. They had Vivian. They still needed our active bids. That night, I waited for Sophie in the kitchen. She came home after 9. When she saw the papers on the table, her face went pale. Sit down, I said. I'm tired. Sit down. For the first time in years, she obeyed. I slid the Ridgeline announcement toward her. Then the download logs. Then Grandpa's signed transfer. Her mouth trembled. Mom. How long? She shook her head. How long have you been giving Vivian our bids? Her voice came out small. I didn't know what she was doing with them. That almost broke me. Because it was not denial. It was confession. I sat across from my daughter and felt something inside me go cold. What did she tell you? Sophie cried then, but I did not move to comfort her. She said Ridgeline wanted to study old pricing models. She said it was harmless. She said you were going to lose the company anyway, and this would make sure I had a place there when it happened. A place where? At Ridgeline. I closed my eyes. She offered you a job. Sophie nodded. And money. Silence. How much? 5,000. I laughed once, but there was no humor in it. You sold your grandfather's company for $5,000. I didn't sell it, she cried. I thought I was protecting myself. From me. Her face crumpled. I wanted to yell. I wanted to shake her. Instead, I asked the question that mattered most. Did you give them the church restoration bid? She covered her mouth. That was the answer. The church project was more than money. My father had carved the original altar rail with his own hands when he was 21. Restoring it had been his dream. Sophie had handed it to Vivian. That was when sympathy turned to anger. Not loud anger. The kind that sharpens. You are no longer employed at Callaway Custom Cabinets, I said. Mom, please. You will return every file, every password, every device tonight. I'm your daughter. And I am my father's daughter. She flinched. Good. By Wednesday, our attorney had filed for an injunction. By Friday, Ridgeline was forced to pause work using our designs. Vivian called me 17 times. I answered on the 18th. You are embarrassing this family, she said. I almost smiled. No, Vivian, I am documenting what you did to it. You have no idea what you're playing with. I know exactly what I'm playing with. You think your daughter will forgive you for this? I looked through the office window at Sophie's empty desk. No, I said, but one day she may understand why I had to do it. Vivian's voice dropped. You were never supposed to run that business. There it was. The truth beneath every polite insult. I said nothing. She continued, Arthur chose you because you were there, not because you were the best. My hand tightened around the phone. My mother chose me too, I said. You always forget that part. Vivian hung up. For 2 weeks, everything got worse before it got better. Clients called with questions. Employees whispered. Sophie stayed in her room. Grandpa stopped eating after Vivian told him I was trying to put her in jail. Then Nate found the larger twist. It was hidden in an old backup drive from Grandpa's office. A video file. Recorded 6 months earlier. Grandpa at his desk, looking tired but clear-eyed. Mara, he said on the screen, if you are watching this, then Vivian has done what I feared she might. I covered my mouse. Nate stood behind me, silent. Grandpa continued. Your mother never trusted my sister with the business. Neither did I years ago. Vivian tried to sell our design catalog without permission. We stopped her quietly because she was family. That was our mistake. My eyes filled. She has always believed Callaway should have been hers, Grandpa said. If she tries again, do not protect her reputation. Protect the work. Protect the people who depend on you. Then he looked straight into the camera. And protect Sophie if you can. Vivian will look for the softest wound in the family and press until it opens. That was the larger twist. Vivian had not picked Sophie because Sophie was greedy. She picked her because she was hurt. Lonely. Embarrassed. Easy to flatter. That did not excuse what Sophie had done. But it explained how Vivian got in. The video changed everything. Our attorney used it to challenge the documents Grandpa had signed. His doctor confirmed his medication had been changed the same week Vivian brought the papers. The bank representative turned out to be Ridgeline's legal consultant. Ridgeline settled before trial. They returned the designs. They paid damages. They lost 3 major contracts when the story became public. Vivian lost her position and faced a civil fraud case. But the consequence that mattered most happened quietly. Sophie came into the workshop one evening. I was sanding a cabinet door alone. She stood near the entrance, eyes red, hands shaking. I don't want my job back, she said. I kept sanding. I know I don't deserve it. I stopped. She placed an envelope on Grandpa's workbench. Inside was a cashier's check for $5,000. I sold my car, she said. It doesn't fix anything, but I don't want her money. My throat tightened. For weeks, I had imagined this moment. I thought I would feel victorious. I thought I would feel relief. Instead, I felt grief for both of us. You hurt me, I said. I know. You hurt Grandpa. Tears slid down her face. I know. You hurt people who trusted us to pay their bills. She nodded. I know. I looked at my daughter and saw the little girl afraid of thunderstorms. Then I saw the grown woman who had made grown choices. Both were true. I cannot erase what you did, I said. I'm not asking you to. What are you asking? She swallowed, to help me become someone who would never do it again. That was the first honest thing she had said in months. So I gave her a consequence. Not forgiveness. Not yet. A consequence with a door inside it. You can start by apologizing to every employee whose job you put at risk, I said. In person, then you can help Grandpa at the nursing home twice a week. Not for show, not for me, for him. She nodded quickly. And you are going to therapy. I already made an appointment. That surprised me. Hope is strange. It does not always arrive as a sunrise. Sometimes it arrives as your daughter standing in sawdust, finally ashamed for the right reasons. 3 months later, Grandpa came home. Not to live with me full-time. He needed care I could not provide alone, and I had finally accepted that love does not mean pretending you can do everything. But he came home on Sundays. We put his recliner back by the window. Sophie brought him coffee in his old mug. The first time she apologized, he listened without interrupting. When she finished, he patted the seat beside him. Vivian fooled smarter people than you, he said. Sophie cried so hard she could barely breathe. Then Grandpa added, but next time someone offers you money to betray your mother, ask for more. For one stunned second, nobody moved. Then he winked. And we laughed. Really laughed. The kind of laugh that does not erase pain, but proves pain did not get the final word. Callaway custom cabinets survived. More than survived. When the church restoration came back to us, Nate handed me the signed contract and said, Dad would be unbearable right now. He is unbearable right now, I said. Grandpa insisted on visiting the workshop the day we finished the altar rail. His hands trembled as he touched the carved edge. Your mother's pattern, he whispered. I nodded. And your daughter's sanding, Sophie said quietly from behind us. Grandpa looked at her. Then at me. Then it is family work again, he said. That was the moment I stopped feeling like Vivian had stolen something permanent. She had taken trust. She had taken peace. She had taken months of my life, and nearly taken the business my parents built. But she did not take the ending. Vivian thought family loyalty meant silence. She thought secrets were safer than truth. She thought the softest wound in our family would be the easiest way to destroy us. She was wrong. Because once the truth came out, the wound finally started to heal. And the person sitting at my dinner table every night was not the end of our business. She became the reason I fought harder to save it.